Hi and welcome. In this video we're going to learn how to zoom and move around a document that you're working on. Now, like most things in Photoshop, there's more than one way of doing it, and I'll be showing you several with the aim that you can decide which suits your workflow. Now here I've got two documents open on the tabbed interface. So I've got document 1 and I've got document 2. I've got low res and high res, and they both look exactly the same on the screen. Now the first one here, this low res, has only got 1000 pixels on this long edge. This one, the high res image, this has got 4000 pixels along this long edge. But how come they look exactly the same on the screen? Well, the answer is that we're looking at them at different zoom levels. So let's switch back to the first image. If you look down in this bottom left hand corner, you'll see the zoom ratio of the image in this little box here. Now this one says 100%, which means that it's displayed at full size on the screen. Now let's change to the second image. So we've got now our high resolution images. And if we look down now, it looks exactly the same on the screen, but this is only displayed at 25%. So it's actually being displayed at a quarter of its actual size. So for a comparison, we need to display this image at 100%. So how can we do that? Well, we can type it in. So I can just go and click in this little dialog box at the bottom, and I can type in 100 and press the return key. And now you can see that the image zooms right in and actually goes off the edge of the document window. Another way to zoom is with the zoom tool here in the toolbox. If I hover over it, you'll see it gives me a tooltip and shows you a little bit how it works, and it gives me the keyboard shortcut of Z. Z for zoom, so at least this one makes sense. So if I click on that, then when I move out into the image, you see my cursor changes to a little spyglass. And then what I can do is I can just click, and it's got a plus in it, so you'll see that I can just click and it's zooming in. Okay, well, we're okay zooming in, but how do we zoom out? Well, for that we use a keyboard modifier. And what we use is the Alt key, or the Option key on the Mac. So if I hold the Alt key down, you'll see the little thing inside changes to a minus. So I can click and click and click. So we just use the zoom tool for zooming in by clicking, or we can hold the Alt or the Option key down and click to zoom out. Now, but if we're zoomed in, what about the bits of the image that we can't see? Well, for that we can use the hand tool. And again, if I just go and hover over it, you'll see there it gives us a little tooltip, and it says that we can actually move around the image by using the hand tool. And that's got a keyboard shortcut of H, so let's try that one out. You can see at the moment we've got the zoom tool active. If I now press H on the keyboard, I'll select the hand tool. Now the cursor changes to a little hand, and I can click and drag in the image now to move around and see the parts of the image that I can't see. Now this is not really ideal, because if we'll be wanting to pan around the image quite a lot, and if we switch to another tool, then we've got to click back on the hand tool again to select it. So let's switch back to the zoom tool. So we could be any tool, but we'll stay with the zoom tool. Now, to make our lives easier, we can now get the hand tool on the fly by holding down the space bar. So the space bar, hold it down, we get the hand tool, but you can see that the tool we've got is still the zoom tool, but we get temporary access to the hand tool. We can move around, and then as soon as I let go of the space bar, we go back to the tool that we're using, which in this case is the zoom tool. And this is called tool access on the fly. Is that not cool, eh? Now there is another very common method of zooming using the modifier keys. And the modifier key in question is the Control key on Windows or the Command key on the Mac. So if I put my finger on and hold down the Control key, and press the plus key, I will zoom in. If I press keep my finger on the control key and press the minus key, I will zoom out. So control and plus zooms you in, control and minus zooms you out. Okay, next we've got what's called the marquee zoom. Now this is where we can zoom to a specific area of an image. So first let's go up to the tool options bar, and we can see that we've got something here called scrubby zoom. Well, I'm just going to take a tick out of that. And if we don't have scrubby zoom, what we have is called marquee zoom. And what we do, you see, we've got the little spyglass, but if I wanted to zoom in on a specific area of this image, like say this thing at the back, then what I would do is I would click and drag and put a marquee around the bit that I want. And when I let go, it zooms me right in to that area. Now, if you've got graphics acceleration active, then we can use scrubby zoom. So I'll just go and put a tick in there. And so now we've got the option we can drag left or right for a scrubby zoom. So here I can click and drag left and I'll zoom in, and right and I'll zoom out. And it does. You've got to be careful because you will get seasick if you do this too quickly. So you can drag it left or right to zoom in and out quite quickly. And that's called your scrubby zoom. But you will only have that if you've got graphics acceleration enabled on your computer. Now the other one that we could use, but one I'm not that keen on, is the actual scroll bars, the cells. There's one at the top, one at the bottom. Let's zoom in a little bit. And so now we could click and drag vertically, or we could drag horizontally. But I find that probably the least useful zoom. Now we've got some buttons in the tool option bar of the zoom tool. And one says 100%, one says fit screen, and one says fill screen. And they basically do what they say on the tin. So if I click on the 100%, it zooms to exactly the same as we started with a zoom actually of 100% on this image. And we can see that there are bits missing around the outside. Now we've got fit screen, so if I click on that one, it will actually fit the image to the space available on the screen that we've got. And we've got fill screen, which will actually fill completely the area. Now if this was a portrait image, then we would miss some of the image at the top and bottom. But that we can use the scroll bar to actually find those pieces because they're only just above or just below. Now a couple of bits and bats. To finish off, a couple of things that you might find useful. If we actually go to the zoom tool icon and we double click on it while we're actually zoomed in, it will bring us straight back to 100%. You can see 100% down here. If we double click on the hand tool, it fills the screen with the document. So again, if you've got a portrait image, you would have to scroll or use the hand tool to see the top and the bottom of the image. Well, that's it for this video on the ins and the outs of zooming. I do hope you found it useful. If you did, please give me a thumbs up or leave a comment under the video. I'd love to hear what you think. And please click that subscribe button and help me grow my Photoshop learning community. I'll see you in the very next video. Bye for now.